Hello and welcome back to Anti-Depressing. This is the show where we talk about everything from liturgy
to Lexapro.
Woo! I'm Jasmine Joubert.
I'm Chenele Shaw, and this is our wonderful guest,
the lovely
Lillian Fallon. Woo! Welcome, Lily. Thank you for being with us.
Tell us a little something about yourself.
I am Lily. I'm 31 years old. I'm a writer.
Start.
I have a cat.
Love that.
And I am single.
Whoa.
I feel like I just listed off like a doctor's like check-in paper.
Yeah. Are you allergic to anything? Do you have any diseases?
History of family illness?
Yeah.
You know what? No, pretty healthy. I got some heartburn sometimes. Might or might not be on a Lexapro of my own.
Got it.
Well, that's amazing. We love to hear it.
Medical intervention. Woohoo.
So down to talk about Celexa.
Yay! Woo! It's not sponsored. They do not sponsor
this. This is so
this
good because it really is how you describe dating now. It's like you have to like provide your medical history. You're like selling yourself.
I'm Chenele. I'm 30 years old. I am on 20 milligrams of citalopram. And sometimes I mix it with tart cherry juice and magnesium. And
you've been on a magnesium kick,
dude. It's friggin' rocks. It's a muscle relaxer.
Try that. I'm on the
By
same
the way,
amount
disclaimer. This is not medical advice. Disclaimer. This is not
medical
advice.
Don't come for us.
Yeah, if you magnesium, since it's a muscle relaxer, it just friggin' I
need to get that.
Huh?
I'm gonna get some of that magnesium glycate.
Yeah, but it also it's a muscle relaxer and it's a muscle relaxer. It will relax every muscle. So
what does that mean? What are you trying to communicate?
Like, pee the bed?
It's gonna make you poop.
Poop my pants. Well,
you poop your pants. So like it is a muscle relaxer in every sense of the word. So
it's got like so much more.
But when I took it as my last plug, I cannot even like keep my eyelids open. Like it relaxes every muscle in your body.
I love that.
It's amazing.
That's really great.
So
I'm looking
so if
for
anyone
a
out there,
melatonin alternative.
Yeah, melatonin all the time is like not awesome. So, but if anyone out there is looking for me, come hit me up. If anyone's looking for a white version of me that is also taller and on a different kind of medication, then Lillian.
We're on the same medication.
And if anyone's looking for another white version of me could be a friend because she's married, Jasmine. We're all available.
We got you. We've got options.
We've got
available. Like different flavors.
There it is. Spice of life. So Lily, tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, where are you from? What do you do? Who are you? What's going on?
Why are you on the show?
Why are you on the show? Yeah. Like, who do you owe a favor to?
Well, I'm friends with you guys. So Jasmine is my booking agent.
Nepotism.
And Chenele is my bestie. So
so it's a kind of like a work play relationships on this call.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's it. That's the only reason. But I am a writer. I recently published Theology of Style with Ascension Press. It's all about personal style and how. What?
She hit a button that was supposed to be claps, but it was like a dancey, upbeat jive.
And it was so loud. I'm so sorry. I tried to do claps. So
take us back to you just released a book with Ascension, Theology of Style.
Yeah.
Carry on.
So I just released a book with Ascension Press called Theology of Style. It's all about personal style through the lens of St. John Paul II's Theology of the Body. And I also do videos with Ascension Presents, which is really fun. And I do talks, which Jasmine is pretty much handling just by herself.
Book Lily, send me an email, lillianfallonbooking@gmail.com.
Yeah, you're saving my life by handling all of the bookings for me. And is that enough information? I live in Pennsylvania. I used to live in New York City and Philadelphia. I lived in Philadelphia with Chenele in a house during COVID. Crazy times.
Tough.
Me and Chenele were friends in college, though. Like we go all the way back to 2013
back to being children together.
Tell me a little bit about your origin. Like, what were your first impressions of each other? Why did you want to be friends? Take me back to like young Lily and Chenele.
Oh, start me there, Lily.
Chenele,
I want to hear about what your impression was. What was the origin story?
Oh,
What's your
Chenele
version?
seemed like she was going straight to the convent. Like her,
Yeah.
That's
Chenele,
actually so true of OG Chenele.
Yeah, it's super intense.
yeah. Because, well, the first thing Chenele would say to you is, I'm so excited, I'm going to be a Dominican. Like, that was Chenele. That would be the first thing that came out of her mouth. She'd be like, hey, who are you? I'm Chenele, I'm going to be a Dominican nun. Yep. And she would wear these long skirts with her toms and then a t-shirt. She had like a sisters t-shirt. What did it say? Like, sisters run the world or something?
Sisters run the world or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then
so cute.
You would sometimes wear like headbands.
Yeah.
And you were just very smiley. Like, I just picture you smiling a lot and being really happy. And I wasn't super close friends with you until we became RAs together. But we had this experience where there was a sophomore year dance. Was it sophomore year or was it freshman year? It was freshman year.
Yeah.
Because I was dating Robbie. And I went to Chenele's room with my friend Ryan, and we like ransacked Chenele's closet. And that was the first time me and Chenele ever really interfaced, because then I borrowed her dress, and it was like this form-fitting, short, little black dress.
Which was so crazy because I never wore it. I think I bought it because I
had it in case.
Yeah, because I was like, you know what? Like, even though I would never wear this, I bought it to like have some sense of thrill. And so then Lily borrowed
Lily
it.
lived out your sense of
Lily
thrill.
lived out my thrill. And I went to that dance in like a long, like lace skirt. So yeah.
Very saucy.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was the first time that she and I ever really hung out. Well, like, not even. I just literally came to your room, took your dress, and left. And then we both became RAs together at the same time, second semester, because other RAs dropped out and we were like the backups. And we bonded together over watching Once Upon a Time and Caramel Sutra, Ben and Jerry's ice cream. We would just eat that in the RA's office, and then we realized that we were gonna be friends forever.
Yeah, because we were both like, we'd go into the RA office, lock the door, and we watched Once Upon a Time on the whatever. I don't have that job anymore. We watched Once Upon a Time on the RA computer. I know, on the RA computer, but we pirated it. So like it probably put so many viruses on that computer. And we like watch every day.
The
we
commitment
just like
to that show.
Yeah, we would like watch it, get Caramel Sutra ice cream, and get like a pub sub and split it, and just like sit in the office for hours and just like watch that show for hours
and listen to Justin Bieber. And then we would go on duty. Anytime one of us was on duty, the other would just hang out with the other.
Yeah.
We'd play Beyonce and Justin Bieber in the office, and we got yelled at because we weren't really creating an environment where students could come to us and tell us about their problems. It was just like a straight party environment.
Yeah.
And we were like, what? People don't want to come and hang out? And we're like, we're like, she confident.
We'd walk in and we'd be dancing, and a girl would come in and be like, I don't feel like me and my roommates can be friends. And we were like, come on, shake a girl, come on.
Why don't you just dance?
And our director was like, you guys got to have some quiet hours. Like, you can't just like dance all the time. So that is the origin story. It was the same. I just thought Lily was in this friend group that I was not in, as I was in the very much like girls who wanted to be nuns group. Yeah, and Lily was in the like cool kid group. So
naturally,
come on, girl. So you were in the cool kid group. That's okay. And so I was very much not. And so then when we became RAs, I was like, I was kind of out of my like nun vibe as well. Discerned out of that.
Out of your nun era.
Discerned out of that. Yeah, started wearing jeans. So so then like Lily and I became friends, and I was like, man, this is just like so nice and chill, and we've just been through so much between the pandemic and growing up and being in our 30s, and at the same time we were friends too, so we've all seen each other in our like weird, and now I feel like we're finally in our like fully formed era where we're like not quirky anymore, so as much. So
we're quirky in like a
fun
maybe
way.
A controlled, tame way.
Yeah.
In like a cute way. Not that it like rules our personality,
Yeah. Lily's like, I don't know, I have a cat and I live in an apartment by myself. Yeah. So but so anyway, happy that you're here, Lily.
So glad. Thank
happy
you for
we're
that
still in
early
the mix.
Chenele insight
Yeah.
that we all needed.
Chenele
I
was
was-
very
know
popular. I
Chenele
just want to
just
say
met.
that Chenele was incredibly popular in college, and I felt like her sidekick. She's trying to be like, Lillian was in the popular group. Everyone knew who Chenele was.
Yep.
Everybody, when Chenele was like going to be leaving, she was like, there was a time where she was leaving Ave, and everybody like crapped their pants and like threw a party, and we're trying to like fundraise to get Chenele to stay, and everyone's like losing their minds because Chenele was like the most popular kid.
Okay, that part
That
actually
tracks.
is true. We did have a party on the president's balcony, and then the head of campus ministry petitioned to the board of the school to give me a scholarship so I could stay at school.
Yeah.
Chenele,
So that part is true, and
it's
I am
just,
grateful.
like, a
And
little-
thank you,
it's a
Father
lot.
Bob. Thank you, Father Bob. I will never forget how much you did for me. But when I
That's
was a
beautiful.
freshman, though, I was not in that cool mix. It took me like a year, and that's okay. Lily was
You fought
dating.
for it. That's
Yeah,
great.
Lily was dating someone cool, and it was just like cool vibes all
Cool
around.
era.
Yeah. Cool at the time. So who knows what he's like now. So yeah,
Oh
so
my gosh,
happy
that's so
that we're
funny.
all past that though, thank God. Now I have tattoos and I've had like a nose ring, so we're all just like we're all really making it. I have a tattoo.
She's so cool
A
now.
tattoo of a
Tattoo,
donut
rock and
who
roll.
says what? What do you say?
Donut tattoo.
Yeah, so who
boop.
gives less of a than me?
No one.
Nobody.
She's so cool.
Let's move into like
Do
some
you want to
cool
hear some
Catholic news.
anti-depressing Catholic news?
I would love to, and I'm gonna
I
get
wanna
some
hear.
friends to listen to it while you talk.
Some friends.
Yeah.
I get like so scared when you go to get things. Oh no. Can you wait to show them
I know
until
what
I'm
this is.
done?
I already know what these are.
Yeah. Mhm.
I already know.
Yeah.
Okay.
In anti-depressing Catholic news this week, this comes from one of our listeners, Maddie, sent us this on Instagram, which we love. And she sent us that the Indianapolis Colts owner donated $5 million to Catholic Charities to honor his cousin who died, who was a nun. So amazing. And he said about his cousin, Sister Joyce spent a half century giving back to others. So with this gift, I only hope to emulate my dear cousin's spirit, grace, and her commitment to our communities.
Oh, that's
Amazing.
so sweet. I love
so
some charity.
sweet. Way to go, Jim.
What do my dear
Way
friends
to go.
think? That's such a good story, Jasmine. Generosity is the key to life. Right?
If you're not watching this live, like just maybe pop over to YouTube so you can see the little like claymation creatures that Chenele has. Do they have names?
I don't
Claymation
know.
pumpkins with teeth and noses and eyes.
I just like the little, you ask me every time you're about to get one of these, which I can't believe you didn't text me, but I know why you didn't. Because every time you text me, you're like, should I get this? And I'm like, no.
But it's so
It's like
cute.
so,
Did she text you when she was deciding between getting the scary clown painting that she was going to get for her wall?
No, because she won't, because I roast her whenever she tells me that stuff.
Good, I'm glad
Well,
you do.
I'm thinking about
It's too
starting a
much.
cabinet that's full of my art with faces.
I think keeping them contained would be a good
So I have
strategy.
this one, and then I have a little cup that has a little face on it. So I think I'm
Yeah,
going
that's
to
right.
keep them all together. But for those,
Don't you feel like everything's looking at you? You
yeah,
feel
but in
good
like a
about that?
fun way. You know, their teeth glow in the dark. So
I did not know.
yeah.
I liked how you were
So-
just getting finished saying that you're out of your quirky era.
That is actually
But this
so true.
But this is like quirky fun. This is like, oh, fun.
That
like,
is beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and you are beholding those, and you think they are so beautiful, and
I
that's
do.
great. I'm happy for you.
I do. This is Earl and this is Curl. So Earl and
Oh.
Curl.
I
And
thought you were
Those
going
are
to say
good.
Pearl.
they're so happy to be here, and they thank the Indianapolis Colts owner for practicing true generosity.
True generosity.
Which is the spirit of life.
Yay!
So, Lily, put you on the hot seat. What was the last generous thing that you did? Go.
Oh, jeez. I babysat 2 nights in a row this weekend.
Did you get paid
Aw.
for it? Don't say it.
You know what? I actually did for the first time.
Okay, but she didn't go into it thinking she was going to.
I wasn't
correct?
expecting it
okay.
at all. I was complaining about money though, and then all of a sudden I got Venmo'd and I was like, "Whoa, you
Wouldn't you
Venmo'd
know?
me?"
But even if you were getting paid, babysitting is generous because having somebody in your life that you trust enough to leave your kids with them is a gift.
That is true.
So it's a gift regardless.
That is true. You're right.
It was fun still. I have a fun time when I'm babysitting. So
it's so cute.
I was
Jasmine,
Lily's the
seat.
queen with kids. She's so good with kids.
What was the last generous thing that you did?
Oh my gosh, this is so stressful.
Just be a mom.
I don't know. I didn't yell at my kids today.
Generous.
That's peak. I've been really working on my modeling patience and
I thought you were just going to stop at modeling. I was like, yes.
I've been working on my
modeling.
And that I feel like is generous.
Yeah.
No, I've been working on modeling what I try to teach my kids about taking a deep breath, asking Jesus to help you be calm. And it's been working.
Good.
At least Noelle has been taking it in. Joy will punch someone in the face and then look at me and be like, I took a deep breath, so it's fine. So we're working on that.
I love that.
But I'm at least I guess you're listening to parts of it, not the whole thing.
Your kids
but she's getting there.
Your kids are so cute. Your kids are so cute.
I love it.
I love it.
Lily, I am so excited to shift into hearing a little bit more about the why behind Theology of Style. You don't have to go too hard into it. I know you've been interview about this book. Show us it. So cute.
Whoa.
Love
for
the
those
cover.
that are not seeing
you should
us,
just get on YouTube for this.
Yeah, you should get on YouTube for this whole video. It's a gem.
It's good.
So Lily is holding up her new book by Ascension Press called Theology of
Which
Style,
you can order
by Lillian Fallon. It is how many pages, Lillian? Can you tell us?
125.
125. That's a quick read.
Of love,
that's a quick read, you guys.
The text is really big.
That's nice.
That's a quick read,
That's not
you guys.
overwhelming.
Yeah.
So tell us
quick
about
read, okay?
Yeah, tell us why you wanted to write this book.
Oh wait, but first,
what?
We need to dance.
Oh, we need to dance.
I'm afraid I don't know which button
it is. C, I thought.
Here we go. No, that's a clap. All right. Done.
Thank you for dancing. Now tell us, what is the why behind this book? I love the name. So interesting. Let's get into it.
I wrote it because I just felt I felt very passionately about having a broader conversation about personal style and clothing and the purpose of clothing than just the tried and true modesty conversation, which has predominantly dominated the clothing conversation when it has to do with Catholics and Catholic women and how they dress. So I just felt like it was so much deeper than that. And I wanted to legitimize personal style as a true extension of the expression of the human person. So I came at that from a psychology standpoint, where I bring in different psychologists, legit ones too, not just randos.
I love it.
But how is this legitimately a expression of the human person? But then also, what does St. John Paul II say about the human body and the soul, and how those two things are inseparable? And what does that mean in how we express ourselves and our call to self-gift? And how is clothing a communication of the human person, and then therefore self-gift? So I just really wanted to talk about how this is something that can help you understand how you were actually made in the image of God. And really just be a tool in the tool belt of your faith life, and something that you can use to grow in confidence, but also just, something that is fun and exciting and be creative and not take it so seriously, that it's not something that's you have to wear this certain type of silhouette in order to be a perfect Catholic woman, but really to talk about the creative element and not taking it so seriously. So
I love
that.
Wow.
I love that. That's so cool. Do you feel like growing up with the typical modesty talks at youth events and all of that shaped your desire to do this? Where was the need you saw that you were I need to be the one that kind of starts this conversation?
Well, you know what? Actually, I didn't even want to talk about it when I wrote the book, and I was brainstorming, or not even brainstorming, but kind of coming up with the chapters with Ascension, like we sat down and we were like, what is this book going to cover? What does it look like? And modesty, of course, came up. And anytime in the past when people would hear about how I'm really passionate about personal style and theology of the body, they would immediately jump to the conclusion that all I do is talk about modesty. And actually, I like never talked about modesty. Chenele, like you've known me for forever. So you've seen all of my Instagram posts, you've seen everything. I rarely talked about modesty. And then when I did start talking about modesty, it was kind of in a response to toxic modesty thought. And I think I was mostly just so frustrated that the conversation around clothing has always been about modesty and not about how it can be something that is a testament to the connection of the body and soul, and like how that is just a huge testament to the human person and how we're made. And so I didn't even want to like talk about modesty because it's so much more than that to me. And if you have a solid understanding of your self-worth, the way that you dress pours out in like modest ways, whatever. And but I think in wanting to avoid talking about it really pointed to the fact that I had a very strong opinion, and I was just kind of like frustrated and angry with how the modesty conversation has gone. And almost I was like, I don't want to give those types of people any more attention by talking more about it. I don't want this book to just be a modesty book. But so when I did write that chapter, I was like, all right, you know what? If we're going to do this, like, let's do it. And I'm going to come down really hard on like the Marian modesty movement. I'm going to explain why that doesn't make any sense. I'm going to address how people talk about how Fatima, how Our Lady talked about fashions leading people to hell. I'm going to talk about it all and make sense of it. And also talk about how extreme modesty, hyper modesty, is just another form of objectification of the female form. So I end up in the book like really like going hard. And even the editors, after they were like, all right, like let's reduce some of the
they pulled that
attitude in the section.
We still want to keep our colleagues.
We can't roast
everybody. That is so.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Dude, I am curious. So, okay. Thank you for the book promo. Everybody buy it. It's amazing. I'm getting Jasmine and I are both getting signed copies mailed to us, correct?
Yeah, right?
Yes, they've been expedited.
Yeah,
that was
okay,
part of
got
the
it.
agreement I mean, on this show.
Yeah, like you only told me like 3 weeks ago, but that's okay. I'm sure I gotta get them soon.
Sure, it's in the mail.
I'm sure
for
it's
your
in the
booking
mail
agent.
already
at your door.
Yeah,
of course.
So I'm curious what your thoughts are. Hot seat question. But you know, on this show, we're not afraid to go there. This is the most dramatic show ever. So, hot seat question. What are your thoughts on this, like, I don't know if it's even a modesty movement or if it's like this notion that Catholic women need to like emulate this like 1950s 40s aesthetic of femininity in the way that they like practice femininity, right? So like in the way that they home make and take care of the kids or whatever. It's just a different conversation for a homemaker that has opinions on that. But like in the way that they dress, in the way that they, you know, like activate, you know, I've heard even from a lot of those it's like, you know, the word for it is very like meek, which is great because be meek and humble of heart, right? So, but you know, I've seen from a lot of those people that there's like this idea that I've even heard from them like, okay, you wouldn't wear your bathing suit like in front of your dad's friends, or so then you should navigate like what you cover, and then it's more shame based than like love based, I feel, in my humble opinion. But like, what are your thoughts on that era of, you know, like Catholic feminine culture, because I feel like especially in the way that we dress, there's a lot of commentary there. As from that culture, we kind of not want to revert. Like I don't think all of us should be wearing like nipple pasties out, but I think it's like this interesting retro like adaptation now where it's like we've almost like circled back. But I'm curious as to like what you think. And you can also in the hot seat, you're free to say no comment. So
No, I mean I have lots of comments about that. There's plenty of people who have blocked me on social media because I've spoken about how Catholic femininity doesn't look one way, or people have like subtweeted me because I've just addressed this topic. But yeah, I'm very passionate about how Catholic femininity is not a costume, and that it's not something that you put on and then therefore become more feminine. In the interview I was just having before this call, I was explaining all of this, and the interviewer was like, it's almost like you're saying that the Catholic or woman herself in all of her femininity is more of an artist in her expression of self. So it makes sense that the things that she wear be more of a creative, fluid, fun, expression, manifestation of that, instead of, oh, well, you're a woman, so you have to all look the same. I'm very much against conformity, and I see a lot of conformity in Catholic culture. And of course, we all do want to fit in. That's normal. We all want to know that we belong somewhere. But like when the message is you have to look this way in order to be the right type of Catholic woman, that's when I get mad, because that is so the opposite of evangelization. It's this exclusive club. It's like we wear pink on Wednesdays of like the Catholic world. And it makes me frustrated because I'm like, if somebody were to encounter a Catholic woman, I think that being drawn in by her creativity and her outfit, like that, when I meet somebody who is dressed in a way that like, I don't know, like assimilates to a culture that I might be kind of put off by, it doesn't make me want to engage with that person really.
That makes sense.
But I there's been so many times where I'll wear something that is creative and fun and maybe not your typical Catholic girl outfit. And when I'm out and about, people who are secular or whatever will stop me and want to have a conversation about what I'm wearing. And then I can talk about who I am and why I dress the way that I dress and how I want to express being a one of a kind person made by God. And I just think that it opens up for a lot more communication and openness. Whereas when we're all kind of trying to dress in a stereotypical way, it's like, well, we all dress like this. And if you don't dress like this, then you don't fit in and you're not really like, you don't really belong here unless you are a part of like the Stepford Wives Club. So, and I mean, someone's personal style, like in their preference, might genuinely be
that era.
And that's fine. Like that's cool.
Absolutely.
And I've never been like, oh, that's like a horrible way to dress. All I'm saying is that that's not the only way to dress as a feminine woman. Like there's a lot of diversity within Catholic femininity. And you can still dress to dignify your body and celebrate your femininity. But we're all so different. So like let's, show that we're all different. We were made that way. So
I love that.
What are your thoughts, Mama? I know like especially in Mama culture, there's like sometimes when Jasmine, like I sound like I objectify Jasmine a lot. I want to clear. I do not.
You do.
I appreciate her aesthetic and I affirm her in her physical aesthetic a lot.
Thank you.
So, but sometimes when period. When Jasmine like comes down in an outfit or whatever, like say we'll be hanging out with the kids or one day and she'll just be wearing like some cute shorts and a shirt or whatever and her hair is all down and whatever, cute. and I'm like, oh my gosh, you look so cute, whatever. And in my mind, I'm like, you don't look like an a typical like Catholic mom, right? As I would imagine her to be,
Hmm.
which also isn't realistic because there's many types. But it's like in mom culture and parent culture, do you ever feel like there's this niche like way that you should be like operating and wearing and like looking?
Yeah, I mean, I think like the mom influencer vibe
Mm.
is like one specific thing, right?
Okay.
One specific fashion, which is really just like athleisure. And then like the mom Catholic fashion, I really don't invest hard in that. Honestly, like I don't really know what's happening in that world. I just like know they're wearing a lot of dresses. You know, like I go to
Mhm.
mass and it's just like lots of moms in like pretty, but like,
Yeah.
you know, longer dresses. They have their hair done super nice. They're like full makeup. Like a lot of these moms are like rolling into mass, even though they have like 6 kids and look like they just took a pic for Instagram.
Yeah.
And I just like cannot relate. And so that's like my biggest, like when I go to mass on Sunday, I'm like, oh, I'm like not on that level. And sometimes it's like oh shoot, I should really like be investing more in this and be like, oh, Steven, I need like an hour away from the kids so I can like make myself look like the other moms for mass. But I just can't do that on a Sunday morning. And so I just like spend time with my kids and I roll with my hair in a bun and we just do what we can. And I don't wear a dress because my kids like to climb underneath my skirt and lift it up. And so if I wore a dress, everyone would see much more than they bargained for at mass. And so that's just like not normally what's happening for me. And so it is interesting, like the mom fashion. But like today, for example, I went to the library in like a very 2023 mom fit. I felt like I was wearing leggings and an oversized t-shirt and some like little sneakers. And I walked out the door and I was like, oh my gosh. Like I've like, because I felt like I like morphed into like the very typical mom. And I was like, what just happened to me this morning?
You have like your Stanley Cup or whatever.
I know.
And your, like baseball
I do
cap.
not have one, but I was like, I feel like that's what's happening to me. I was like,
Yeah.
I have like my loopy case. I'm like, what is, I'm like becoming, I felt like that mom for a minute, but I, as you know, I just like don't shop a lot for myself ever. So most of the clothes I have are from like early college. Like I just don't. And I don't have a big desire for it. And so I just wear things that I like and that I'm comfortable in and that I still like, I don't know, still hold on to. I just can't do it. I don't have the mental capacity to like shop.
Jasmine.
And that's why I say that personal style is a tool for you to use if you choose to.
I love that.
Also within Catholic circles, there's this pressure of like, you're worth it, so wear it. And with that kind of comes the pressure of like, oh my gosh, like I have to get dressed every day and do my makeup and put on a cute outfit because I'm worthy and I want to like, you know, show that I am, and I don't know.
Yeah, and it's almost like a proof to other people that you are worthy and that you know your self-worth. And sometimes I'm like, well, I can know my self-worth even if I'm wearing jeans and a t-shirt. Like it's okay, you know?
It's like, or I know my self-worth because I took a shower, or I know my self-worth because
like
I
I'm
remembered to
taking care
take
of
my
myself.
medication.
Yeah.
Yeah, or like I ate breakfast today, so I know my self-worth. So there's so many ways that you can honor yourself. Well, you guys, let's have like our final thoughts on modesty, because I really feel like this could be a 7-episode series.
I know.
My final thought is modesty in its heyday back in the early 2000s, as a woman that is a little bit more robust, I always thought that it was just kind of hard because
like it wasn't for you.
It wasn't for me. Like people would be like, we need to wear like skirts all the time
and
or
not
like
look like we have a shape.
and not look like we have a shape. And then like I would go shopping with those same friends and buy like the same outfit, but on me, I'd be like, dude, my butt is making these jeans look like jeans, you know, like the jeans are jeaning. And I just like would feel so stressed about every outfit because even unintentionally, I was like, dude, I can't not have like a body. So it's just like I can't not look the way that I look. And like women that I went to school with who are awesome women, like women I went to school with or women I was in youth group with looked a particular kind of way
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't. And so I always just felt like, dang, I guess being modest for me means wearing oversized t-shirts and long
Mhm.
And
skirts
big
from
skirts,
Kohl's, and just
sneakers.
like sneakers and like no shape, no movement, nothing.
Yeah.
And it was just like such a bummer. So
Yeah.
I'm happy
And I know
that,
you've done a lot of
yeah,
work to try to like find what you feel confident in.
yeah.
And I guess I'm curious, Lily, if you could hit us with like a couple tips. Like if there's a lady listening to this
Mm,
or a guy listening to this wants to discover their personal style,
yes.
because I also would like to know your tips. Can you hit us with like a couple things that are like, here's the first couple steps to like figuring out what you feel confident in, what you feel like you glorify God in? Like, give us some little
Hit us with
snippets.
it.
I would love that.
Yeah. Well, okay. First of all, building a strong foundation to your wardrobe is pretty key. So that's
Mhm.
the basic items. So it's not super fun to be like, oh, I'm going to go shopping and buy a bunch of like neutral colored things that really fit me well, because it's not like, ooh, personal style, fun. Like I'm expressing myself. But you need those foundational items to kind of function as the canvas to your painting. And then as time goes on, incorporating the more statement items. And to find the statement items that best reflect you, I first of all recommend detoxing from fashion influences. So unfollow the style bloggers who are super trendy. Try not to shop off of, the trendy racks at Zara or Forever 21. And limit your exposure to fashion magazines. Like you don't need those to be stylish. And then I recommend going on a Pinterest and searching like street style and that term like street style, and then whatever city you can put in like New York City street style, and then just see what comes up, or search in the search engine on Pinterest like classic style icons. See what comes up and what starts to resonate with you, and then start pinning the things that you like. And then once you've pinned a bunch of those things, look at them all together and try to identify what the connectors are. Like what's some items that you repeatedly see that you're pinning over and over again? Or what is the overall look? Like, is it more preppy? Is it more like girly? Is it more sporty? Like, what is the theme that you're seeing? And then start writing down the items that you'd like to buy and start doing your research then. I recommend looking at Everlane for some of those like basic items, but I really love going thrifting. Thrifting is like and that's kind of like annoying because I feel like every girl's like, I like to thrift. And they're like, cool, well, that's like not helpful to me because I want to.
Lily's one of those girls where you're like, I like your skirt. Where did you get it? And she's like, I thrifted it. And you're like,
Well, I'll
what does
never
the
find
tag
it.
say? Like, stop gatekeeping clothes. Yeah, got it.
No, I don't ever gatekeep. I tell everybody where everything's from.
You're
if
right,
I bought it from a place that's purchasable. But then luckily the internet's pretty easy to find. Like if you boil down an item and you're like, I want a yellow double-breasted blazer, like you'll find like a bajillion of those. And then you can start investing in those pieces. So yeah, that's kind of where I recommend starting out.
Look
I like
at that.
That's so helpful.
Tips and tricks, y'all. Get out there, discover your own personal style, and buy Lily's book from Ascension Press. Plug.
Please
Buy her book. And also, as a plug for Lily's expertise, when I just got out of college, when I lived in Denver, I called Lily one day and I put her on FaceTime and I said, let's go through my closet. And I gave away a lot of things because
that's amazing. I need to do that. I'm going to call you tomorrow.
Dude, I'm telling you, it was crazy. I just went throughout my closet and I was like, and she was like, nope, no, yes, no. Because it was just giving lots of paisley, lots of like things that I could never wear with other things. Kind of like these pumpkin vibes.
It all comes back to them.
But like these pumpkins, I have a canvas for my room, and these just give a little bit of spice. You know what I'm saying? You can only have like so much spice. You got to have a base.
I love it. But to all the people out there, to all the ladies, to all the gentlemen, to all the mamas, like if you you deserve to feel confident and good in what you're wearing, and you owe it to yourself. And you deserve that.
And if that means that you're
and
confident.
I'm speaking to me and everybody.
And if that means you're confident because you brushed your hair today, good job. If that means because you like are wearing sweatpants and some new Keds that you got and that's giving you the boost you need, good
Proud of you.
for you.
Good for you.
Yes, good for you.
You deserve it.
Cleanest Keds award.
Well, okay, Lily.
If that means you're wearing a Mandalorian shirt, which
then
Lily is wearing, then that's what you're doing. So
we have to talk about something so important.
Our next story is so important. Yeah. Go.
Thank you for sharing about your book.
Thank you.
But the main reason you're here is because we have to ask you the question that every podcast, that every sports broadcaster, that every single person on Instagram has asked
right now.
What do you think
about Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift? I know nothing about sports. But now I am learning. A Chiefs fan.
I've sent you some of those, like, here's how you know about sports.
Yep.
Those little, like, football for newbies.
Yep.
Football for Swifties.
Yep.
Lily, tell us.
What are your thoughts? Is it a publicity stunt?
No, don't give her props. Just ask her.
Because she has nothing to gain from this. He has everything.
That's literally what Jasmine
I said the same thing.
That's
okay,
literally what
keep going. We're too excited.
Yeah. 1 year is the same amount that she makes in tickets for one concert at a Super Bowl stadium or whatever football stadium. His whole salary for a whole year. Nobody knew who he was, and now everybody knows who he is now. Like, of course, football and sports men probably did, but now everybody knows who he is. Whereas the men also knew who Taylor Swift was before, and I mean, because who doesn't know who Taylor Swift is? They were all gobsmacked when they saw her there. All of those football guys, saw her in the private booth or whatever it is, and they were shook. They had a camera showing all of their faces, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, is that Taylor Swift?" They were freaking out. Collectively, as a whole, men are freaking out over Taylor Swift.
You know what?
And it's a moment.
I want to push back there. I think we're going to get canceled by people that watch sports because Travis Kelce
is a big deal.
Wasn't he kind of a big deal?
No, I will say this. I knew who Travis Kelce was before this.
Because you're actually into sports.
Like sports.
You're an anomaly.
And like I've listened to his podcast sometimes. Yes. I remember when he was like, I was like shooting my shot, sent her the bracelet, and me and my sister have been like shipping this right away. Like I've been so excited. Because he's just like great, and him and his brother are very sweet. It's very funny.
Yeah,
you knew who he was last year because we watched the Super Bowl together, and I was like, "Oh, look, like they're brothers and they're playing each other."
And I was
and you were like, "What is a down?" And I was like, "We cannot." I
was like, "What is a down?" Also, he is handsome and he dances.
That's why you were like, "He is so cute,"
and he also dated a black woman. So that's the only reason I know. That's the only reason I know who this man is. But
he's football famous for sure.
He is football famous. Sure. But I do think Lily has a good point because men that watch football knew about Travis Kelce, but men that watch football also know about Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
But women that watch Taylor Swift don't know about Travis Kelce. So it's like he's getting double exposure now. He's for an audience that
he is going for it.
Yeah.
Increased by 400%.
Yeah.
His merch?
His jersey sales.
Wow.
Isn't that so wild? Yeah, I think the whole theory that it's a publicity stunt, the only way that that's possible is that somehow over the last couple months, they became like best friends. And she got to the level that she's like, I'd do anything to help your career. And then she was like, we can pretend we're dating, which I can't even, like, she doesn't have the time. Like people who are like, oh, the NFL is paying her to do this. She doesn't need the money. She doesn't have the time.
International, you really think that she's going to be like spending it with a dude? She would rather be with her family and friends.
Exactly. She doesn't want to do that. And Taylor Swift was not somebody to just like show up to NFL games before this. Like this is all very intentional. I just think no girls on planet Earth right now have time to pretend they're dating a guy because everybody's tired and nobody is getting dressed, putting on red lipstick and going to an event for somebody that they don't like. You know?
That's the part.
Taylor Swift has like conquered the world. Like she in the Barbie movie revived the economy. Her concerts were like every city that her concerts were in, the population or like all the businesses were like booming because of all of the people who are attending the concert. Same with the Barbie movie. Well, Barbie movie just in general. It's like she has conquered the world. She makes billions of dollars. She doesn't need any help from anybody. Like she is at the top, and she's going to make even more money is because she's her movie is her movie of her out already or not?
It comes out the 16th.
Okay.
Why do I know? The 13th? I don't know. The day we're going to see the Jonas Brothers.
Okay, yeah. So her movie comes out, but then Beyonce is also coming out with the Renaissance movie, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, is that already out? I don't know.
No, I think the tickets are just out for
There's
that.
a lot happening.
But like there's a lot happening. And I think that like I think that Travis Kelce is a beautiful representation of God's goodness and time. That God put a lot of time into chiseling him, and he is beautiful.
That's
and in the least objectifying way, he is stunning.
Yeah.
And I'm happy for Taylor because you know, I'm not here to shut anyone else down. All the rest of her boyfriends were beautiful, so like good for her. Well, you know. So, you know,
she said they were not.
All the rest of them had their own gifts and talents. And so I'm happy for Travis Kelce and Taylor because I just think they're just so like imagine that dynamism of like you're dating a singing superstar and you are like I mean, didn't his team just win the Super Bowl like last year?
Yeah.
And so it's like, gosh, that is that is like so intense and like, oh my gosh. So, and then on the same note, I think about it and I am like, I do have a parasocial relationship with Taylor Swift at this point to where I'm so invested in who this woman is like dating. So it's kind of unhealthy, but I love it.
I do get it. And I'm curious, Lily, because I watched your Instagram stories about this. You made a really good point about how she's always dated these like very dramatic artisty men. And now he is like this like rugged football player vibe. So let's like talk about that for a second. For like the single ladies here, what is like the vibe difference do you feel like for her going into this relationship with somebody who is like not this like highly emotional musician artist and is this like totally different, seemingly from the outside because we don't really know him, but seemingly different personality from what she's previously been attracted to?
Dude, that's something to think about. I didn't talk about that in my stories.
Maybe somebody else did, and I was like, maybe it was
Lily posted.
Honestly, I love that I attributed it to you, though.
There it is. I felt
like you would have that feedback.
Dating an artist is like, okay, I love artists because they're in their feelings. They're creative. They muse. They ponder. It's like, ooh, like edgy, you know, whatever. They take time to think. And someone that plays sport, but then again, our friend Austin plays sports and he's like the most pondery dude.
He's all those things
dudes.
you just said. Yeah.
But, you know, other guys, it's like they play sports and it's like they're so just like quick thinking and they have to like make a decision and they have to like do things and it's a quick movement and they look like they could build you a house and like defend you. And I just think there's like this dynamic that maybe she felt of just like, I'm ready to kind of be in
maybe
the
she
like,
needed that.
Yeah. Cause like I've had crushes on guys where I'm like, I just feel like a goblin from the Wicked East coming out of her cave. And the little man is like a little like, yeah, just like a little sweet, like Frodo Baggins, like he's sweet. And I'm just like a terrible big goblin. Cause it's like really different when you feel like a man is like,
but he's a sexy baby.
Yeah. Like I felt like everybody was a sexy baby. So it's like, I just, I don't know. I think that is that switch up for her type, you know, because Harry Styles, that Joe guy who is an actor, Joe Jonas, it's like they're all
dated a lot of musician emotions.
Musician like emotional, like John Mayer. They're all like, you know, that kind of Jake Gyllenhaal.
Really running through the rough list here.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's like,
what's your vibe, Lily? Yeah. What's your vibe on that?
Oh my gosh, I need to think about it. I think that, I don't know, I would agree. There's something about that like raw masculinity forward and not as complicated as a more artistic guy, maybe. And he also doesn't really seem like he's trying to prove anything in his craft. Like, I mean, obviously in sports, it's like, yeah, you're always trying to prove that like you can win the game or whatever. But with a musician or an actor, so much of it has to do with your image and how you appear to the culture and being liked and stuff. Because if you think about her relationship with like Maddie Healy, and like he came out with saying some pretty
horrible
not cool things about Ice Spice, and everybody was like, Taylor, like, what the heck? This is who you're dating? Like, I don't know, like, image is really important when it comes to like dating these like artsy guys, and this Travis Kelce guy just like doesn't seem messy like that.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to care.
It seems like he's kind of just like focused on what he's like the game that he plays, and it's not about like appealing to billions of women to like your music or your movies, you know? I don't know. Like,
yeah. I know. I think there's a lot of validity to that. And I listened to his like most recent, or maybe like 2 times ago, podcast episode where he talked about Taylor and like talked about her coming to the game. Because his brother was like, we have to talk about it. Like, tell us what the deal was. It was like so sweet the way he talked about it. Because he was like, oh, it was like so ballsy of her to show up. Like nobody thought she would actually come. And it was super cool to see her like chest bumping and like high-fiving mom and like so excited, and everybody in the booth had like amazing things to say about her. Like he just genuinely seemed really excited about it. And if it's all a PR stunt, then he is like a great actor. So I take back everything I said about him not being an actor. But if he is pretending, then he's the greatest actor she's ever dated, and I said it.
right.
But I just do think, to what you're saying, Lily, like there is something refreshing about him. And I saw this thing about how like she was literally like in a tunnel, hid away from everybody for 6 years while she was with Joe Alwyn. And I didn't even know, I wasn't like deep into Taylor Swift until like recently. And so I didn't know even that she was like dating this dude. Like nobody knew anything about her life. And it is literally like someone coming out of a cage right now. Like she's being open. She's like cheering. She's excited. Like you can see this revitalized like joy in a person to just have confidence in another person. And on the podcast, I loved like he answered his questions, but you could tell him and Taylor must have like talked about what she was comfortable with him sharing, because then he was like, and like, I'm on this show. I am playing football and I'm a more public person. But out of respect for everybody involved in this situation, like that's the last time we're going to talk about this. And so I'm glad I got to answer everybody's questions. I'm glad you'll kind of get to see like little snippets of it. But just out of like respect for what everybody's comfortable, like that's it. And then it was done, which I thought was beautiful.
I'm so curious as to how this is going to impact her music, because in the past, like the guys that she dated were so seemingly kind of complicated, and not to say that a sporty guy can't be complicated. I'm sure, you know, they have intricacies and emotional crazy things, but it's just such a different vibe for her in terms of who she's dating, that I would imagine it'd have to like impact music. Like he just seems so like manly man, straightforward dude, Mr. America, like
yeah.
So like, we'll see. I mean,
I know.
And into country music, and all the other guys were like these brooding artsy types, and I'm like, what is the music gonna look like after this?
I know, I'm so interested. But he's it's very Homecoming King and Queen. It's very Mr. and Mrs. America. I love what's happening.
If this works out, it's gonna be like a Lover album part 2, and it's gonna be great. And the music is gonna rock. If it doesn't work out, which I do not hope that it doesn't, because I want her to be happy.
If it doesn't, the music is still gonna rock.
So like,
and I need to stop, but like I listen to folklore, and I love folklore, so I do love like a heartbroken, sad Taylor. I didn't really like the Lover album. So I'm mostly concerned with how if they break up, if I'm going to get a good album out of it.
Yeah, she's like, I don't want us to go too happy.
Yeah. So we'll see, you guys. God bless Taylor and Travis. Taylor and Kelsey. Taylor and Travis. I pray that they work out. I now
for everybody
kind
out there
of
starting relationships.
Yeah, I'm kind of watching sports now. So thank you, Taylor, for that. And and prayers to everyone else out there inspired by Taylor Swift to get out there, start dating, right?
Do your thing.
Show
Maybe
up to
change
games.
it up. Maybe if you've been dating people for, like 15 to 20 years and you've been dating the same kind of person and it serially has just not been working out, maybe you should try a different type. Maybe pull a Taylor. What?
Are you talking to me specifically?
No, I'm talking to everybody. All the single ladies. But Lily, if you heard that in your heart, then yes, I was talking to you.
Maybe I was trying to look up that philosopher that predicted the future. Caveat. I do not know a lot about him. If he's weird, I'm sorry. But Nostradamus, maybe, if all of us, can just like try something different. We don't know the future. We're not Nostradamus, even though Nostradamus was lying. And, and just get out there, try something new. You're dating someone right now who's just like super broody and doesn't respond to your text. Date someone who's not broody, but busy and doesn't respond to your text. Try an athlete. It might work out differently for you. And we wish you all the best.
That wasn't the complete message, but that's okay.
We wish you guys all the best in your dating ventures here at Anti-Depressing. An inspiration of Taylor, who is predicting the future for all of us. I feel like once Taylor does anything, it's like a signal for the direction that we're going in life. Like
now we're all changing it up. We're all dating out.
Yeah,
it is the season for NFL players though, because everybody wants to date them now.
She is the modern Nostradamus. So she is dating him, and now all of us need to date people that are different. Like she's wearing like leggings and shorts. What'd you say?
That's why I opened up my apps. I opened up my Instagram for applications for NFL players. So like, I'm ready.
If you're an NFL player that's listening to this, 2 single ladies who are ready to pull a Taylor. They're ready.
There it is.
You guys, the world is depressing,
but we're not.
We're so thankful to Lily for being here. Thank
you. We love y'all. Talk to you guys next week.
Yeah, download Theo. Listen to us.
Our new home. Bye. Love y'all.
Bye.
Mwah.